Hello, I'm Kathleen Hart, and welcome to my show. Tonight, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about healing trauma through deep inner work. Some people call it taking a self-inventory, taking a deeper look into yourself. Some call it shadow work. Basically, it's going inside, taking a good long look at yourself, what's happened to you, and how it's changed your life, how it colors the way you look at the world, how it affects your decision making. I want to start out focusing mainly on childhood trauma. I've got some experience with that myself. I've worked with some others who have been through a lot of healing in that area. And I see that it's pretty common. I think just about everybody has some. I'll start out with a simple little story. May sound a little silly. This is something from my own childhood, but I think it's relevant. This type of trauma causes something called self-limiting beliefs, where it changes your perception filter of what's going on and how you deal with it. What happened to me as a kid, and I was probably 6 or 7, maybe 8 at the most. My mother had this little deal she did at Christmas every year where she had me write my letter to Santa. And this was my wish list, what I wanted most for Christmas. Unfortunately, the way she handled it was she had me fold up the letter and put it in my stocking on Christmas Eve. Doesn't leave a lot of time for Santa to go shopping. So every year, Christmas morning, whatever it was I'd ask for, number one thing on the wish list was never there. When I got it was the next Christmas, a year later. Well, you grow, you change, your wants change. But it was always that disappointment of, I can't have what I want, so I'll have to take what I can get. I didn't know how deeply that affected me and how long it stayed with me until this last year. It came up and it caused me to take some things that I shouldn't have. I should have held out for what I wanted. Instead, I settled for what I could get. And I think there's probably a lot of people out there who do that. They don't even realize it, and they have no idea why they do that. They've probably never even questioned why they do that. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about crystal skull healing, which is my specialty. I found that this is really helpful for bringing up these hidden issues, forgotten traumas, things that have just changed the way you think, where they don't have to. But if you don't know it's there, you can't heal it. You've got to reveal it to heal it. You bring it up, you address it, you clear it, you let it go, and you move on. And you learn to look for it coming up again later so that you can avoid it. Don't repeat those old patterns, break out of them. Sometimes it just takes somebody else showing them to you so that you realize you've got them, and then you can start working on overcoming them. It's actually a very powerful tool that I'm excited to be able to offer to my clients. I see we have a caller. Is that Allison?
Yes.
Hi, Allison.
Hi.
Do you have a question for me? Something you'd like guidance on?
Yes, actually. We have a daughter that is addicted to, I'm not sure what, but we are raising her daughter, and it's just trying to figure out how to deal with that, and and to protect her, to protect our granddaughter is mainly why we're raising her.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough job. There's a lot of folks struggling with addiction these days. It's far more common than most people realize. It's often undiagnosed. The obvious things are drugs and alcohol, but there's all sorts of other types of addictions, things called process addictions that are, people here are gambling, but you can be addicted to food. You can be addicted to shopping, lots of other things, and they can become very, very disruptive to your life. I would recommend, get her in counseling if she's not already in counseling, a good 12-step program. Get her some people she can relate to and talk to that let her know she's not the only one. There are others out there with very similar problems, and help is available. The biggest thing for her is not to isolate herself. You need to be there for her and be her mom, but be her friend as well, and know that you love her no matter what.
We tried that, and we were unable to keep a relationship, and we don't have much contact at all right now.
With her?
And yes, with her.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one to deal with. If there's any way to encourage her to stay in touch, for the sake of the child and for herself, perhaps get into a long-term treatment situation. But if you don't have a good relationship, it's hard to encourage them to do that. You just have to take every opportunity to show them how much you love them, how much you care, and that you're there to support them, whatever they need. And then you give it up to God. You pray, you wait for them to reach out to you. And you got to remember, it's their journey, not yours. You don't know what she signed up for to experience in this lifetime. And it may not be anything you can do, but the big responsibility there is taking care of that grandbaby. And
yeah, that's where we're at right now. We don't have any. We've given it up to God. We're letting God and they won't change unless they want to. And we've exhausted ourselves to this point where we just don't have any contact at all. So our what we want to do is to adopt our granddaughter, and but my daughter has a big ego in her world and her mind. She thinks she's a good mother, so it's hard to get her to agree to do something like that, even though I've seen everybody around us knows it's a good thing, it's the best thing for her, so I am just not concerned anymore with with my daughter. I'm just more concerned with my granddaughter and making sure that that her future is secure. And
you do the things you can do, and the rest you just have to give up to God, because there's only so much you can do. I go back and quote the Serenity Prayer, if I could remember all of it, but it's accept the things that you can not do anything about. It's not your fault. You do the best you can, and you do something about those things that you can. So I would say for the daughter, pray for an inward revolution, that she has a big change of heart and of attitude, and hopefully she'll come back around. For the granddaughter, absolutely, I would pursue adopting her, just because she needs you. She needs a stable home influence. She needs to know somebody loves her and cares about her.
I agree.
Yes. That's the best thing you do, is love that little girl and let her know that she's not been abandoned. She's not been forgotten. And mom has some problems and she's dealing with them as best she can. We each have our own journey, and we can't necessarily make big changes for anybody else. they've got to want that change. And then they can get help.
Correct.
But if they don't want it, you can't make them do it. But that little girl, she's a precious, precious gem. Take good care of her. Give her lots of love. And then invite the mom to come and visit her, to stay in touch. Maybe you can reach her through the daughter. I would pray so. But it's going to be a tough road.
Well, right now we don't allow any contact at all because it's just the interaction is not appropriate.
You definitely want to protect her from that. Anything inappropriate going on, she doesn't need to be around that, or she'll be traumatized herself. And goodness knows, where she'd wind up that way. So just protect her. And if you can leave the door open to bring the mom back in, great.
We have steps. We have steps that she needs to follow in order to pursue a relationship, and those steps just have not been followed. So,
stick to your boundaries. They're important. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So, stick to your guns. Your boundaries are healthy, and don't drop them for any reason, because the safety of the granddaughter is number one. And take care of yourselves. Get lots of support. Don't isolate. Reach out for help when you need it. God bless you. Take care. I hope it works out for the best.
I appreciate it. You have a good one.